So, but we will be there. Another axe is what my colleague Paul will call negawatt. I don't like this word, but it's trying not to use the energy when it's not useful. So being more efficient in the use of energy, not wasting energy. And this is a huge program. This concerns us in our own plants. We use a lot of energy in our refineries and all that. We use a lot of energy. The operational cost to run a refinery is sometimes 70%, sometimes of it is linked to the use of energy. So for sure, operational people are very keen to try to lower their energy. But what we have to know is this needs maintenance, this needs good practice, but this needs also sometimes more and more R&D and new technology. So we invest a lot in total in R&D to be more efficient in our own plants, but also we acknowledge that if only 5% of the emissions of the CO2 is linked to the oil and gas activity industry, 33% of this CO2 is emitted when the products we produce are used by our customers, either in automotive or flights or plants or house in habitation and all that. So we have developed a program saying that maybe with the knowledge, with the competence we have, we could also put on the market products and services that are more efficient in terms of emissions of CO2. And for that, we have to study the products all along their life, from their production to their end of life. So we have a stringent program. I will not detail it except if people are interested. And today, we started this program a bit more than 2 years ago now. And today, we have 31 products that are labelized. And in 1 year, in the market share they represent, which is quite limited, they avoid emission of 740,000 tons of CO2, which is quite a lot, as you can imagine. Huh? So this is really some examples. We do work also on CCS, but I think that Paul will speak about that, and we have a collaboration on that, because we do believe that CCS will be in the future a solution for concentrated flow of CO2, so especially for electric power generation with coal. I will not detail on that, but Total invests a lot in it. And our priority is also to prepare the future. So we also are responsible to be able to produce oil and gas in a more responsible way. So only being able to produce more from existing resources, I think, is one of our responsibilities, because we have, it's true, a problematic of limited resource. I don't believe myself in very short-term limited resource, but nevertheless, the resources are limited. So our duty is really to produce without wasting all this production, all these resources. We also invest a lot in new energy, but in new energy in which we think that they will be affordable compared to others. Meaning that we don't invest in energy when, or in R&D, when we think that even in 10, 20 years, they will need to be subsidized to be competitive with others. So we do believe in solar, photovoltaic. It's why we are now the third company in solar after our acquisition of SunPower. We do believe in biomass, but biomass, you addressed it, has to be taken very carefully to be sure that there is no competition with food. And there are possibilities, because when you speak about biomass, you have to look at it with local and regional views and not only global views. And with some local and regional views, biomass will be a solution. So it's why we invest on that. I don't know if you want me just to conclude to address the governance, the global governance of environment and the view we have on it.
Let's take a moment on that, yeah.
Yeah, because I think when you speak about environment, a lot of people, especially in France, I don't know if it's the same elsewhere, speak about climate. Well, climate is a key issue, I agree. And climate issue is a global issue. So if you emit a CO2, a ton of CO2 here, it will have the same impact that if you emit it elsewhere in the world. And definitely for CO2, we think that there is a need of global rules. I don't know if it has to be UNEP rules and all that, but there has to be fair, global, and visible rules to be able for us to invest, because all our investments are long-term investments. So today, it's when you invest in a project in E&P, you will start to produce in 5, 10, sometimes 15 years from now. So as we don't know what will be tomorrow with Durban, for us it's very difficult to understand which kind of investment we should do in that matter, in CO2. So there we really need an agreement, global, or at least clear if it's bilateral between countries, visible and gradual in implementation, not to kill existing economies. Then, and so we are waiting a lot for Durban, even though we are not very optimistic. Then if you look at local environments, I mean water, because water is generally a local issue. Water pollution, water scarcity. If you look at soil pollution, local air pollution with dust, NOx, SOx, we've used in developed countries to have had for decades additional and progressive additional regulation, piling the one above the others, and at the end of the day, not giving the possibility to an industrial, for example, to have a global view of its impact. You just have to follow regulation, and sometimes regulations are competitive between them and don't help to optimize. So to optimize this triangle, economic, environment, and social. So if in Rio plus 20, people want to build a World Environment Organization, I think we have to be very careful of the rule of this organization. It has to be something which would give the general expectation, the basic, how would you say that, exigence? Requirements, thank you. The basic requirements, like, for example, the labor organization at the world level. But if it starts to be very predictive, very descriptive, it will disoptimize local possible optimization. And so, in doing that, the economy of the projects will be bad. And so, if you have no economy, you will not have really a safe taking care of environment. So I think maybe it's a bit complex because we are all progressing with science, with industry, politicians and all that, and we now start to understand that cumulative regulation is sometimes the enemy of a good analysis of a global impact and global act on environment.